every single coach who I've worked with doing over like 50, 60, 70K a month has encountered this issue. And I'm going to go through it today with what I can see to be the biggest way to influence your daily routine that still makes you a lot of money, but you don't feel like you're working just 100 hours a week, week in and week out for like the next 5 years. So really quickly, I want to define a few things here. So building a daily routine that isn't efficient is the title of this video. And I think efficiency kills so many dreams and it reduces people's ability to complete tasks significantly. Because I think efficiency, if we take a look at efficiency as a definition, efficiency, it is the state or quality of being efficient. So an action designed to achieve efficiency, the ratio of usual work performed by a machine or a process to the total energy expended or heat taken in. So this is a technical term, right? It's the act of producing. So when it comes to running your own business, producing sounds like what you want to do. You want to produce outputs. You want to, complete tasks. You want to achieve things. It's actually not what you need to do in order to make more money and actually enjoy the business that you're running. So this is what efficiency looks like right now. 4 a.m. wake up. Looks like Notion templates. It looks like guilt when you're not working. It looks like strangling the goose. Now, what I mean by strangling the goose is just trying to beat your business into submission by having these to-do lists and, you've got 4 different books that all have different to-do lists in them. I was guilty of this. I spent so long building up. I used to have like a to-do list that was laminated with like 50 different things on it every day. And I would put on when I was coaching, I'd put on check client messages, update client programs, take whey protein, take creatine. And it was all in an attempt to feel efficient. And, if I just did these repeated efforts, I would succeed. I ended up being failing as a coach by myself the first time that I did it. And it wasn't until I started working with other coaches did I actually understand what is needed. And it's not efficiency. Instead of being efficient, you want to be effective. So if we type in effective, successful in producing a desired or intended result. Whereas efficiency is just producing, becoming better at producing. Effective is producing a desired or intended result, right? So instead of just trying to be efficient, you should actually become effective. Now, becoming effective is hard. It's simple, but it's difficult. It's simple, but it's not easy. And the reason why it's simple but not easy is because you actually don't know what you need in order to become effective. So if you're a coach, most of the time, you need sales. You need consistent lead flow. You need good admin. And you need good fulfillment, right? If you could do these things, you would become effective. So breaking these down even further, right? How can you achieve this every day? I spelled consistent wrong. Consistent lead flow. How can you achieve this every day? So if we look at this and bring one over here and we say, let's pick consistent lead flow. Consistent lead flow. How are we going to create consistent lead flow? Well, one, we're going to put the thing in the right box. You're going to make content every day. You're going to reach out to all leads every day. Every day / time you get them. Every time you get them. Get them. Let's keep going. So consistent lead flow. What else? You're going to build systems around managing lead flow. You're going to improve booking experience. You're going to review data on process, right? Process. So what that is doing is all attempts to increase your consistent lead flow, because this is one of your biggest levers to pull to actually scale the business, right? Nowhere in here does this say wake up at 4 a.m., write out all of your notes on on Google Notes and then do a handwritten to-do list and then write it down in Notion. Because you could literally be the laziest person in the world, but if you wake up and just did these 4 tasks every day and improved like with this breakdown, so, consistent lead flow, I'm going to make content every day. I'm going to reach out to leads every day. And every time you get them, you're going to build systems around managing lead flow. You will crush every other coach who is trying to do the 4 a.m. routine, whatever. Even if you don't, even if your content gets 50 views a day, 50 people in one room, in this room would be an incredibly full room. So that's one. Let's move on to the next one. So if we were going to go with sales, so sales calls, as many as possible. So taking as many as you can. It would be then, let's get this expanded. This is way too difficult. It would be sales training. It would be role play. It would be mentor review. So sending your information to a business mentor of sales. So like you can actually improve. So this all about becomes improving your ability to sell. And then like downsell automations. Also cross-sell automations. Right? And there's so many more of increasing sales through automation, through systems. And last two, I just realized this video is going to be me breaking these down. So last one, good admin. So tracking everything. So tracking data, leads, bookings, churn, etc. So knowing your numbers, managing your personal finances. A way you can make more money is by not spending as much. Funny that. Managing business finances. Outsourcing bookkeeping/accounting. And then the last one, good fulfillment, which is kind of obvious, but it's not at the same time. Good fulfillment. Reply to clients every day. Complete check-ins with clients. Take client calls. And like write new programs. This is just some examples, right? New programs. What I have done here has literally, I've given you the effectiveness script, right? Again, none of this is about how many tasks you actually check off, because time and time again, I speak to these business owners and they come back to me, and after I get them to do like an audit of their time, they do so much shit that isn't necessary. Like all of these things, when they really should be just waking up and doing these. And no like super wealthy person is working 100 hours a week. Like that, sure, there are some, and you might have to do it for stretches of time, but they all build systems and they all understand what their biggest levers are. So like in Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek, he figured out that he could work and do all of his effective tasks in less than 4 hours a week. For me, for example, I probably work maybe 4 or 5 hours a day on busy days. And then when I'm not as busy, or when like I have things under wraps, I work maybe 1 to 2 hours a day. And in that time, for me, like specifically, I can build automations that will make someone an extra $10,000 a month in 25 minutes. Or I can build an automation that will help scale a team so the founder doesn't have to work 10 hours a day. They can work 6 hours a day, right? So for me, for example, I understand that my levers, I'll give you my levers right now. This is a good little activity. So if I do this, I'll give you Matt's levers. Matt's levers. Sales, obviously. Consistent lead flow. YouTube video. And systems that create digital leverage, right? It's really simple, but I'll explain the last one in a little bit further detail. Me creating digital leverage in my own business is the same as me creating digital leverage in someone else's business. So for me, I just have to do this in both areas, my clients' businesses and my businesses. So if I can complete sales, which is good, so whenever an opportunity comes in, I make sure I actually close it. 2, consistent lead flow. So the way that I do that is by creating a YouTube video. And then systems that create digital leverage, digital, is for my clients and for myself. So if I can, build a bot that helps me complete a task faster, like that's digital leverage. That's effective. If I'm trying to get efficient, what happens is, these are my telltale signs. I will start writing very long to-do lists that don't look, I'll show you, that don't look like this. That's a 4 action item to-do list. So that's a good to-do list. But when they start getting like, I don't even have a good example because I've been doing this really well recently. When they start getting too long is when I know I need to chill out and do more effectiveness, not efficient work. Anyway, I hope you guys found this interesting. And I know it was a bit of a slower video where I'm just talking things through and like kind of showing you how I unpack things in my brain. But I think it'll help a lot of you to start becoming effective, not efficient. So I'll speak to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.